And I'm student meteorologist Evan Thomas, and it has been a scorcher out today again.
Yeah, it's the sunshine state and it's the heat state too. It's been absolutely miserable out there and no relief is in sight.
Oh, nothing at all. It's the end of my week. I'm about ready to crash down in my apartment and go to sleep for the rest of the weekend.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't blame you there. It's going to be hot for the next couple of days, and we'll have a better look on that. We're going to talk about some stats, Jake and I, later on in the show. And it's Parents' Weekend as well, so an influx of parents coming into the area.
Yeah, and I hope they have a good time at least while they're here. Definitely bring out the umbrellas and the sunscreen and the hydration and the water.
I mean, that does do good for, wow, my English is great, for outdoor activities here in Tallahassee, which there are plenty of. It's a little hot, but again, like the key things you mentioned, hydration, sunscreens, and the heat, just things to be prepared for.
Might be a nice day at the res, personally, this weekend, definitely with that heat getting in that lake. Still, even though it's almost October, it could still be that season of summer, definitely.
Even going out to the beach, St. George Island, a lot of the coastal regions, not too bad.
Yeah, it's just hitting still 90 degrees there. I know it's the hot 95, even to 100 degree region here, but even 90 down by the coast, it's hot throughout the region entirely. Yeah,
exactly. But for a more overview of what we've got on the show, Jake will have that for you on the wall.
Yep, guys, another one of those days where our temperature is beginning with the number 9. 95 degrees currently, just past 6 p.m. here, albeit a bright and sunny sky outside Doak Campbell Stadium, as you see with our live weather stem camera. Winds are out of the south-southeast. We had a little bit of a change from a northerly wind that we had earlier in the day, helping to make things a little bit more humid like we're seeing closer to the coast around here. So, unfortunately, a bit muggy and unpleasant out there, as we've been seeing really the last couple of days or so around town. A couple of spots in the area have seen a little bit of relief, notably parts of central and northern Franklin County, a little bit north of Carabel and US 98, seeing a couple of light showers. Otherwise, nothing really going on across the area on day 30 in a row now with no measurable rain that's being recorded in Tallahassee, assuming things hold up the rest of the evening. Just a couple pop-up showers really around Georgia and Alabama as well, and a pretty quiet trend across the southeast out ahead of a pretty weak cold front here. Nice and pleasant weather that we'll get into later on in the national forecast, but not going to be seeing any sort of cool down here anytime soon, unfortunately. As for tomorrow, we're going to be looking at those temperatures getting back into those mid-90s here, mostly cloudy skies. Could even see some upper 90s around Tallahassee. Wind's going to be out of the south at 5 miles per hour. And then for our headlines as we go through the rest of the show here, again, that heat's going to remain. Not trying to spoil that 7-day too much for you, but pretty much looking at sunny skies, mid-90s. We'll see exactly what those numbers are looking like later on. Watching continued activity in the tropics, the evolution of Tropical Storm Karen, as well as Category 4 Hurricane Lorenzo, which thankfully is not going to be a threat to land of any sort. And then, of course, a look at the weekend's lifestyle forecast, which is especially relevant given all these Parents' Day activities, and a nighttime football game, which is going to be a welcome relief here for all of us suffering from those upper 90s football kickoffs. So let's send things out to Dylan to talk about the southeast.
Thank you very much, Jake. In the southeast, well, it's hot as well. We're not seeing much of a change, though we are not the worst spot on this map today like we were yesterday. Seeing 98 degrees in Montgomery, very hot there, and then still South Florida, much more comfortable than it is here in Tallahassee. Not the best conditions the farther you go inland, where you have not a lot of moisture and none of that sea breeze to kind of cool you off just a bit. The farther you go out west, Little Rock, not bad conditions for this time of year. 81 degrees isn't the worst. And dew points, though, still high throughout much of the region. And we have high heats here in Tallahassee, and we have high dew points, so it's making it feel a little bit worse than it actually is outside. And farther you go out, you get some nicer, more mild dew points, but the central part of the state seeing 73 in Tampa as well, so a little more mugginess there for them. And you can kind of see, as Jake talked about, a kind of high pressure. You see the clockwise rotation, very weak though, none of these winds too strong, not bringing any relief, though Miami at 10 miles per hour, seeing a little bit of relief when you get those cooler temperatures, lower dew points, and some nice wind. Not too bad for them down there, but these 2 mile per hours and 5 mile per hours ain't going to do nothing for you when it comes to relieving you of the heat. For a satellite and radar, you do see some pop-up showers due to that daytime heating, and that nice frontal boundary that's situated into Tennessee that did bring some strong storms yesterday into parts of western Tennessee and Arkansas. But again, staying relatively clear in terms of cloud cover, and you see some of the rain band of Karen that will take a better look later on in the show. In the current setup with a weak low pressure system and a nice front situated through part of the southeast, kind of fading out and not really going to be a threat as high pressure moves into the area, and some enhanced moisture that's led to these pop-up storms. But you do see some dry air down into South Florida, making them feel more comfortable, and us in the moisture, well, not feeling the best for us now, but we'll see some change in pattern as high pressure takes in. Going for the next couple hours, you start to see it die down a bit, but then pick back up with some enhanced showers into tomorrow afternoon and evening, which might bring a little relief in our rain. So any rain is good. We've had a lot of drought into the area, and you can see on the drought monitor that comes out every Thursday, we're in a moderate drought here in Tallahassee, and a lot of the eastern part really needs that rain. So these afternoon showers might not be the best for your plants, but they're good for the crops and the ground, and it's really not a bad ideal case. Going out into tonight, you have clear skies out west, very nice conditions, 69 degrees for Jackson. Hey, I'll take that, but here in Tallahassee, the clouds are keeping it a little warm at 73 degrees. Down in the Key West, absolutely miserable at 80 with chances of thunderstorms tonight. That's just gross. That's like a daytime high for some places. And then down into South Florida, too, 79. So you have some nice days, but some horrible evenings. And then going into tomorrow, well, more of the same with high pressure building up into the region. Warm conditions throughout much of it. Clearer skies out west where they're seeing less cloud cover, but still 90s all around. Now let's send it over to Evan to take a look at our local.
Thank you very much, Dylan. And see, heat, that has been the theme of for our area basically the entire week. That sun's shining high, blocking by a little bit of some cloud coverage, but not too much for our area. Currently 95 degrees, mostly cloudy it says, but you can see not entirely too much cloud cover, specifically over Doak Campbell Stadium. We are getting, though, a little bit of that slight breeze coming in from south-southeast at 13 miles an hour, which has helped cooling off things just a little bit, just enough to be able to bring a little bit of relief for us. A little bit of some pop-up shower on our radar, Tallahassee, maybe a pop-up shower over by Carabel as well, but so far nothing too major to look forward to on our day, for our night, and even when we look into tomorrow. If we look at the bigger picture here, we do have these pop-up showers for you coming in through the Georgia and Alabama area. Nothing too severe. As you said, this the cold front was weak, or is weak, that is coming in through the Georgia-Alabama region, so only pop-up showers have really been the only thing to pop up from that. Looking at a little more of the major picture, we do have this nice high-pressure system that is situating right over Chicago and St. Louis, right, really forcing crisp, clear skies, and it's really pushing this front down a little bit farther to the south. Unfortunately, really those cold temps from the cold front will not be much of an effect for this cold front. Really is not too much of a big one for us in cooling down the temperatures. 95 sitting in Tallahassee, a little bit cooler along the coast, sitting down in Apalachicola down at 88 degrees, but boy, we're filling up the heat in Bainbridge and Thomasville at 98. And 97 even at 6 o'clock at night in late September. We're still feeling muggy though. 78 down in Perry, looking at 73 in Tallahassee, and 74 in Apalachicola with those dew points still feeling very muggy. Even though we have not had a single drop of rain in the last month, it's felt like forever with that kind of thing, definitely, to be honest, yeah. So the heat index is 104 still sitting, and 105 in Perry, even Bainbridge, a little more farther inland, reaching up to 100. Hopefully we cool these down and sometime soon, but definitely not looking that way in the immediate forecast. Tonight's forecast looking at a crisp, cool 73 degrees and a 70 degrees over Monticello, even 69 up in Valdosta. And as we're looking at those, really the coolest, cool night to be able to really actually have a good exercise walk and really just enjoy the bulk of the day. But as we look into the next couple 7 days, we're looking at the high 90s in our area as well as the crisp low 70s, so hopefully you turn into a night owl like me and hopefully get those crisp, cool walks in and good exercises so you're not sweating too much. But I'm going to hand it over to the desk with Dylan and Jake.
So this is what we've come to, calling 70 to 72 degree lows crisp and cool, right?
I mean, it's still hot. It's absolutely miserable at night. I mean, you can feel the moisture too. It's not the best.
So it's time to, because of course I'm here, the stats guy, put some of this heat into perspective. Let's dive in.
Yeah, it's been 25 days this month of temperatures above 90 degrees. Two of those 2 days
Yep.
have been above 100, and only one day has been below 90.
Yeah, more days above 100 in September. This is not July, not August, not any of those meteorological summer months here. But yeah, more days above 100 than we had below 90 degrees here in Tallahassee. It's setting up to be the second hottest September on record. With just a few more days to go, we're getting pretty confident that it's going to end up right around an 83-degree average temperature for the month.
Yeah, with today's high, we got our average high temperature for this month above 95, and so that's higher than August, July, September, or August, July, June, and May. So it's been a very hot September.
Yeah, if I recall correctly as well, last year I believe was actually the hottest month of 2018. So that was also warmer than June, July, August, anything like that.
Yeah.
So 3 of our last 4 hottest Septembers have all come the last few years here on Tallahassee.
Yeah, it's not the best in terms of that, and with the heat too, we've seen a lack of rainfall.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, as I said earlier, our 30th consecutive day, and Evan was saying a month without rainfall basically here, without any measurable rain. We had a trace back on the very first day of the month. Ever since then, not a drop recorded at Tallahassee International Airport.
Right, exactly. And a trace is a measurement of 0.01 or less rain, so it's not anything really measurable, but it is some rain nonetheless.
Yeah, this is our longest streak here without measurable rain that we've had in Tallahassee since, if any of you recall here in 2016, the fall drought that we had that year between right around the homecoming weekend in mid-October all the way through Thanksgiving. That year we had 44 consecutive days getting into the highest level of drought category, the exceptional.
Exactly, and we've been 4.16 inches below average for the month and 17.7 for the entire year. So to put that in perspective, that is very dry.
Yeah, and last year we were actually, if you may recall, a little bit below average around this time as well here, and then December ended up being the wettest on record. So you never know what October, November, December have to throw at us, but of course in the immediate term, expect these trends to really stick around. We saw that 7 days, 7 suns, 790 somethings. It's not going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. Not sure what else we can tell you guys.
It's a copy-paste day, but to tell us more about the copy-paste days around the country is Evan.
Thanks, guys. As I said, I just try to look forward to crisp, cool days eventually in the future, all right? As you see, crisp, cool days up right at Bismarck and Minneapolis, hitting up at 65 and 67 degrees. Billings even up a crisp, cool, I can actually say at this time, 60 degrees. I personally would be a fan of that and would like it for my area. Looking at the current dew points, really see that moisture really sticking within the bubble of the southeast right here. 63 in Atlanta, Memphis hitting at 71. We see that front difference of where the front has moved through. 41 for the dew point in Chicago and the 38 for dew point in Detroit. As we look at the current wind speeds, a little bit of a cool breeze coming off onto the California coast, hitting San Francisco at 13 miles an hour and LA even at 8 miles an hour. As we look more down to the southeast, so very much scattered, nothing entirely too much going on. We do have Miami a little bit off screen at 10 miles an hour, hitting wind into the southeast. As we look at the water vapor levels, this has been the main story for Tallahassee. This dry air that has come up through, from the Gulf of Mexico, which has really been dry and been pulling up and constantly pulling up that dry air from the Gulf of Mexico. Mainly used to those sea breezes that are mainly forming off the coast with a lot of moisture that usually comes from the Gulf of Mexico, but unfortunately this time of year we do not have much of that to look at. Billings right now getting some rain showers right now throughout their area. A little bit of a low pressure system up to that area. While we do see that cold front moving on through into the Kentucky, Tennessee region and even into Arkansas, just coming through, pushing a little bit to the south, but not too much for our area. As I said, this is our front that we're looking at, cold front, mainly more severe up into the northeast region, but it is not bringing a lot of cold temps and a lot of rain definitely to our area in general. As you can see, this area is pushed out, and this is really where most of the severe storms have hit, and Boston getting hit really much with a lot of rain and a lot of severity throughout their region. As we look into Billings and Idaho, they have been getting some rain from this low pressure system, slowly decreasing in intensity though. You can see some of these showers through Idaho really cooling down just a little bit through our region. As we look into Phoenix, it's been really interesting that we kind of swapped cultures with them. They've been usually really dry throughout the type season, and they have gotten a lot of tornadoes and flash flood warnings, including this watch right now that's until 5 p.m. Mountain Time through their area. As we look the drought is going to continue through our area, sadly, and it is not going to stay, or it's going to stay that way, hopefully, or not hopefully, but it is going to stay that way for a little while. Looking at some cooler temperatures a little bit for the north in the future, but that heat bubble does stay, including for tomorrow. As we now look into our Local 2 with Jake.
Thanks, Evan. And there's actually interesting to point out, there's actually expected to be a pretty significant blizzard up in parts of Montana. Unfortunately, here in Tallahassee, Florida, not seeing anything like that anytime soon. There is this big yellow ball that has been here for 30 consecutive days and will not be going away for the foreseeable future. This is our live weather stem camera outside Doak Campbell Stadium, showing you that sunset, which will be taking place in just about an hour off to our west. Might be a good time to get out there, about 7:15 to 7:30, to check out the skies there. We're still sitting at 95 degrees here, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Raining throughout much of the region here. Raining, R-E-I-G, that version, not the precipitation kind. Winds out of the south-southeast, 13 miles per hour. Actually, the consequence of a sea breeze. There, I said it too. That has swept up from the coastline up to the north as the day has gone along here. So we see that on the satellite and radar. Not really too much action going on in terms of rainfall, but a couple of showers have flared up over towards Gulf and Calhoun counties, as well as northern and central Franklin County to the north of Carabel in the last couple of hours. Otherwise, just some clutter on the radar from Tallahassee. This is not any sort of rainfall in our immediate area, and we're not expecting to see any as the remainder of the night carries on. Just some pop-up showers as the day has carried through in parts of Alabama, Georgia. A little bit more rain up towards eastern Tennessee areas like Knoxville, but not seeing, again, anything expected here in Tallahassee. If we zoom out to that national surface map, this front will not be making its way through our area, not really forcing any sort of big rainfall threat for us either in the next really 7 days here across the area, even though we have this nice high that's settled in right behind that we really wish would have been able to get its way down here after a couple of days of rain. Around the area, temperatures largely in those 90s. Again, sitting at 95 in Tallahassee. Once that sea breeze circulation is pushed through here, you see these lower temperatures indicated by more of these light red colors. Temperatures dropping towards 90 degrees here. You see 91 Perry and even 88 over in Apalachicola. But where that hasn't passed through, temperatures are even higher with a little bit more sunshine and also some lower dew points. You can see this very well in this contrast from Tallahassee to Quincy. Much less muggy with a 63-degree dew point, just about a 15-20 mile drive down the road here. And the heat index is really reflecting that as well, feeling 6 degrees hotter currently in Tallahassee than it is over there. Now let's look at tonight's forecast. Again, 73 degrees for tonight in Tallahassee, pretty much hanging around the 70 degree to 75 closer to the coast. Again, mostly clear sky is going to be sticking around, not really any sort of change to be expected here. Tomorrow's really the best shot for rain that we're going to have for the next 7 days here. 96 degrees for that afternoon high, 20% chance, just a stray shower or storm, kind of similar to what we saw today, maybe just a touch more storm coverage around the area. Before the 6 days after that, really just, again, as Dylan was saying earlier, pretty much copy paste. So let's go over to Dylan now. Let's talk about some of the events going on this weekend.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that, folks. My mic's back on now and you can hear me. But if you want to enjoy the lifestyle forecast, here's some things you can do this weekend. But right now we're looking at the satellite radar, and this might be ominous that is not actually rain, so it's a little tricky. It's ground clutter that gets caught up, but we do have some showers by Carabel, so bringing some much needed relief. And going into tonight, we see that there is no chance of rain, but tomorrow afternoon those showers kind of come back into our area. Hopefully 1 or 2 can bring some rain to Tallahassee, so we're looking forward to that. But if you're inside trying to study, because it is midterms time, 75 degrees, so you might want a jacket for folks that are a little cold. But going outside, you got a 20-degree temperature gradient from inside to outside at 95 degrees, so hot tonight. But tomorrow, if you want to go out, Friday night block party is a thing in preparation for our home football game against NC State. 73 degrees, not too bad, a light breeze as well. So a good time to hang out with your family over in College Town if you'd like to. And then if you're going into the Love 307 where we are taking most of our classes, tomorrow night, somehow if you're still studying there, 71 degrees, not the best conditions to be indoor studying. But tomorrow too, you can go over to the circus. Great to bring your family to. One of the only collegiate circuses in all of the country, so it's definitely something exceptional for going out to. And then if you want to go on your motorcycle, well, you got that too. Saturday morning seeing 74 degrees. And then Saturday afternoon, or evening rather, the Noles take on NC State, which was our coolest day on the 7th day. 89 degrees at kickoff at 7:30, but that is the 7 o'clock temperature. So again, not too bad, and the sun will go down and cool things off. And then waking up Sunday morning after hopefully the Noles win, 80 degrees and sunny conditions. Not too bad day to wake up. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, the only chance for rain on our 7-day and our 3-day as well. And our coolest day Sunday, 93 degrees, so not too bad conditions. But now let's send it over to Jake to talk about Florida, our wonderful state of sunshine.
Oh, thank goodness that football game is at 7:30. Definitely looking forward to having things be about 5 or 10 degrees cooler. And much of the state of Florida kind of feeling the same way here. Some cooler temperatures if you go off towards the Atlantic coast on Interstate 95, West Palm Beach, Miami, only at 84 degrees, and those aren't exactly rain-cooled values, 84 as well. A little bit more cloud cover in those spots, so it is feeling just a touch more comfortable. But if you go up to the north here, that's where you're seeing temperatures really climbing up into those middle 90s, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Pensacola, pretty much your whole way down Interstate 10 here. And again, right along the coastline, you see these higher dew points. That makes perfect sense considering it's a quantity related to moisture. Actually, a bit of a minimum over the Lake Okeechobee region, which is quite interesting, but still values in the mid-60s, not exactly overly pleasant by any stretch of the imagination. Although, relatively speaking, for South Floridians, that is quite comfortable with a 66-degree dew point in both West Palm and Miami, and even Orlando at 66 as well. So let's dive right into the forecast here. For Miami, again, 20% chance of rain, similar to what we're seeing in Tallahassee, albeit just a little bit cooler and a little bit more humid, so those two kind of offset each other just a little bit. Either way, it's Florida, so still feeling pretty miserable out there. Temperatures in the upper 80s as we work through the rest of the weekend here, 89 being our hottest day on Saturday down in the 305. We go over towards Tampa, temps in the lower 90s, a little bit warmer and a little bit sunnier. Only 10% chances of rain Friday through Sunday, looking like Saturday is going to be our most pleasant day here. We're seeing sunny skies and a temperature of 93 degrees. Orlando, not really too much of a difference either. Not really seeing any sort of tropical anything going on across the entire state. So with that in mind, temperature is going to be just about 90 degrees and not really seeing the biggest rain chances that we really are accustomed to seeing in much of the state of Florida. Again, just 10 to 20%. Go up towards Jacksonville, pretty much a cut and dry sort of situation there. Again, Friday being our hottest day at 92 degrees and a little bit cooler Saturday and Sunday, 89 our forecast high. And then finally we go over towards Pensacola, and even looking better if you want to consider, continued drought to be a better situation. 93 degrees for Friday, and then again 91 Saturday, Sunday. Again, really could be using the rain across much of the Florida Panhandle. So while we'll take the sunshine and the good beach weather and everything that comes along with that, really could use some rain sometime soon. So I'm personally hoping for a pattern shift in the pretty near future across really the entirety of the state, but especially the Panhandle. So let's zoom in. Not really seeing too much again across the state. Just a couple pop-up showers. Starting to move over towards Interstate 95 just south of Jacksonville. South Florida is completely dry. A little bit of scattered cloud cover, but really nothing else besides that. A couple showers along Interstate 75 just to the south of Lake City towards Live Oak. And then in the western Panhandle, just some ground clutter on the Eglin Air Force Base radar right here. A couple showers over towards Franklin County. Otherwise, staying very dry, which again is not really a good situation for the Panhandle, which is currently situated in a moderate drought. And that's not really going to be changing much over the next 24 hours. Could see some stray showers and storms in the afternoon to hopefully relieve that a little bit, but no sort of widespread rain by any stretch of the imagination, keeping those temperatures largely in the 70s for lows and then in the 90s with sunny skies tomorrow. We'll go back to Dylan for our final local forecast.
Thank you very much, Jake. And looking outside, it's looking pretty nice out there. Might get a nice sunset because you got a nice clear view of the sun right now. A few clouds in the sky, and we see that our current temperature, 95 degrees. Continuing the heat. It's already 6:30, still hot outside, and we're going to cool down as we go into the night, but 6:30 at 95 degrees is not the best conditions, though we did have a nice wind at 13 miles per hour there, so that's a nice relief. This is not rain, this is ground clutter, so don't mistake that for our first measurable rain in Tallahassee. This over by Carabel, that is actually rain. That's some good relief for an area that does need a little bit of enhanced rainfall with some drought going on. And zooming out to the bigger picture, we do have some enhanced moisture that's come into our area, leading to these afternoon showers to pop up. And we do have a nice front stalled out over into parts of Tennessee. Not going to make its way here and bring any of the cooler relief, but will enhance our moisture chances just for a little bit, and you can see that here. High pressure moving in right after that, keeping things clear and warm for the next week, so that's not the best for that. And you can see on our current temperatures, the farther you go inland, the hotter it is. 97 degrees in both Quincy and Bainbridge. In Tallahassee, we said 95. Closer to the coast, though, you got 89 in Perry, 88 in Apalachicola. So a beach day is a little more pleasant than it is more inland day. And you can see our dew points, though, over by the coast. Those are a little bit warmer at 78 and 74 respectively. 73 here in Tallahassee. So the moisture is very, very high. And with that together, you get the heat index feeling like 104 degrees here in Tallahassee. 103 feels like temperature in Perry. Down in Apalachicola, even though you got the cooler temperatures, you have the higher dew points, and it's making it feel like 97 degrees, even in Bainbridge, 99. So no relief in sight. And for our low temperatures for tonight, Apalachicola getting down to 75 degrees with clear skies, but here in Tallahassee, well, 73 degrees. Clouds are going to stick around, and it's not going to be the best. So with more cloud cover, you don't have that radiation cooling, and so you have those increased highs. And in Valdosta, seeing 69 degrees, they're a little cooler over there. And for your next couple of days, well, you're going to see the sun stick around. 96 degrees is our high for tomorrow. Gross. 74 is our low, though we do have our best rain chance for that. So that's pretty good if we do get a shower or two. And then going after that, well, we have sun sticking around. It's just a copy and paste, as we said before, every single day after Friday, sorry. But Saturday, 93 degrees is our high. A nice little bit, only 3-degree relief from Friday, but that's good for our football game at 7:30. Now let's send it over to the desk with Jake and Evan.
Yeah, I can't help but feel cursed because last week around about this time of the week, I was seeing the forecasts for temperatures falling back down into the 80s, and I was like, finally, maybe this is the time that fall actually comes to Tallahassee. And we even had a little bit of compensation in the form of, mid to upper 60s lows for a few days, but not anymore.
No. Oh, man, I wish it was gone. I wish it was over with, and honestly, in my mind, at least, thank goodness that this kind of warm moisture isn't being picked up by like some tropical system out there.
Yeah, thankfully. We'll keep an eye on things over the next couple of weeks, of course, but looks like things are going to be fairly quiet. Again, Hurricane Lorenzo is not going to be an issue for land at all. It's way out in the eastern Atlantic, even though it is a pretty mighty-looking storm. It's a Category 4 right now. Expected to recurve, no problems for us. So let's pull that 7-day up and let's see, again, one more time, temperatures staying in those middle 90s and bright sunny skies for 7 days in a row.
Yeah, definitely my time of the day to be alive, at least, or at least for this week, while it is definitely scorching hot out there, is in the evening hours, getting up at 70 degrees. It's not crisp and cool, but it's at least it's a lot better, and you don't have to be sweating constantly.
Yeah, at least you guys have it in the sense that, you have exams all the time now this part of the semester, so you're cooped up inside, not really, miserable out in the heat anyways. I don't really know what to do after like 5 o'clock when I'm done with my research for the day. I've been here for like, 5 years now, so no exams for me to take. Well, actually, I do have a big one coming up next month. But anyways, again, we'll see really no big change in those low temperatures. You see 70 degrees being our lowest low over the next 7, which is actually getting to be well above average for this time of year as well.
Yep. Just hunker down in those books, or at least I would personally do that inside. I know someone tried to bring me outside to study once or twice, and after 30 minutes, I couldn't take it.
Of note here, if we get above 96 degrees anytime starting tomorrow, it's going to be the latest ever recorded in Tallahassee. So follow us all over social media. We're most active on Twitter, but you can also like us on Facebook.com/FSU Weather.
Follow us on more record-breaking heat continuing on YouTube. FSUweather.com/YouTube.
Might be watching us right now. We also have an Instagram page. Sloan's doing a great job keeping that up for you guys, so feel free to send us any of your pictures. For all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm meteorologist Jay Karstens.
I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow for our Friday show.